What's going on, guys? Dorko back again. Hope you're fantastic today, and welcome to the interview with Scott Cawthon. Right, so I mentioned about the hospital fiasco. This was when FNAF World was on the scene. So why did you decide to change things up and make FNAF World?
Well, I do have some reasons for why I made it, even though they're not. It doesn't mean it was a good idea. Just just because I want to go ahead and get that out front. Just because I had reasons for making it, doesn't mean it was a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
But one part of it was just that. I mean, there's only so much that you can let your mind focus on. Murders and tragedy and stuff like that before it, you kind of start cracking. Even if it's just stories that you're making up, there's only so much human suffering that the human mind can sit around and think about. And at that point, I was 2 years in, just fully committed to this grisly story of murders, and I had to make something more lighthearted. And in hindsight, what I should have done is, I should have used that for a troll game, or I should have, made something like, Foxy Fighters. I should have just done something that was obviously for fun and not tried to somehow tie it in to a canon game. And that's obvious to me now. But like I'm saying, like I was saying, I wasn't thinking completely rationally at the time. And whereas, like I was saying, Five Nights at Freddy's 1 was the right game at the right time, FNAF World, that wasn't a good time for it to be made, because I was already in the rhythm of making games that were, coming out not too far apart from each other. I was making them pretty fast, and that's what people were wanting and expecting, and that's what I was wanting to do anyway. I'm not, blaming people for wanting that. That's what I had created, that pattern, and I was happy with that. I liked making games really fast, but that was just a really poor decision of a game to try to make fast. In hindsight, like now would have probably been a better time to sit back and work on something like that. I mean, like after all the after I was kind of satisfied with all the canon games and other companies that kind of taken on some other projects, then I could sit back and maybe enjoy making an RPG, and spend a couple of years on it, and just make something really nice, kind of that looked like the Desolate Hope, really make some nice 3D models for it. Oh, and another mistake I made was FNAF World. I was designing it for mobile. I don't know. This is a whole separate interview about what went wrong with FNAF World. So let's just move along.
Okay. So how would you treat the game now as an experience? Like, have you learned anything making this game?
Oh yeah. I learned a lot. In fact, right before you called, I was kind of thinking over that game, and I realized that. That's probably the least valuable game I've ever made as far as profit is concerned. Mm-hmm. But it's also the single most valuable game out of the entire franchise. And the reason is because what I learned from FNAF World is what is driving every single project going on right now. It is serving as the gemstone of quality control in my mind, and it has solidified exactly what I have to do going forward. If I was treating the movie as I was treating my game series at the time I made FNAF World, we would be 3 movies into the FNAF movies by now. And they would probably be terrible. If I had the mindset that, oh hey, it's Five Nights at Freddy's, people will love it, regardless of quality, then we would already have several movies and they would all be terrible. I mean, And this, Ultimate Custom Night would have come out way too soon, and it just served as a really important lesson for me that you should never take. It taught me to never take for granted. How special it is to have a group of people who are eager to play what you make. Whenever I made I'll use the Desolate Hope as my example again. I saw one person made a piece of fan art of that on the internet. I found it on Google, so I'm going to draw one of the characters, and that was the most special thing to me in the world. That someone had drawn a picture of one of my characters. Like, I can't even tell you how important seeing that one drawing was. And it was just, I'd have no idea who it was. But then, to have a fan base and to have kids that are drawing these pictures and, sending. I got a letter from the other day addressed to Foxy.
Oh.
And God bless the post office in my town for knowing me and for sending me these letters anyway. I kid you not, it was addressed to Foxy, only to Foxy, and I think below it might have had some other clue as to who it was for. But the post office made sure to pass it along to me.
Oh.
You know, I mean, how awesome is that? You know,
Yeah.
and the letter was written to Foxy. You know, it was asking Foxy a question.
That's so awesome.
You know, that's so. There's nothing more priceless than that.
Yeah.
You know, and to have a fan base, you know, of people who care about these characters in the games. You know, that is the only thing that matters.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they should never be taken for granted.
Yeah.
And you know, who cares if something is commercial, and who cares if something is going to make a whole bunch of money? You know, you just have to make sure that whenever those people finally get to see this next thing, that it's something that lifts them up and makes them happy, and it's something that it was everything that they wanted to see.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like that's all that matters. You know, and I need to write that kid back. I'm going to go get a big envelope and put a bunch of Foxy plush toys, and I'm going to write a letter as Foxy. I've never done that before, but I'm going to totally do it. And I'm going to even make a little tear in the paper and say that it was my hook that
yeah,
that
it's
cut it. I'm going to totally do that.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really awesome.
But yeah, so yeah, that's a long story. But no, FNAF World taught me to never take for granted your fan base.
Yeah, exactly. And the final question, which everybody's wanted to ask, is will Chipper ever return like he said he would?
Hey, Chipper is, listen, all of these games are haunted by different spirits, right?
Right.
But the real spirit haunting this whole franchise is Chipper. Chipper is haunting this whole franchise. I mean, I received a box of merchandise the other day, you know, like manufacturer samples, and there's a plush toy of Chipper, well, El Chip, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
But I held that plush toy, and I was looking at El Chip, and I was thinking to myself, you know, you got merch. You got merch, Chipper.
Yeah.
You know, you were an abysmal failure, but you found your way into this merch, and here you sit with that goofy grin on your face. You know. Yeah, no. So Chipper's already back. He's infiltrated the franchise.
Yeah. Well, so El Chip to you was a reference to Chipper.
Oh yeah, of course he is.
Yeah, thought so.
Oğlum bayramlarda niye hiç ziyarete gelmiyorsun?